Ну что ж, сейчас самое время перейти к MODX.
So it's high time to switch over to MODX Evolution. We haven't forgotten it, and one of the main initiators of this subject, Dmitry, will tell us about this branch more in detail. Please applause to Dmitry. Hi, everybody. Why Evolution CMS? Last year it was decided that MODXpo should be differentiated a little bit. In that case, we will be able to show something new. And when we separated it, we were like following up with Revo, and we were making no drastic changes. Therefore, with Ryan, we made a decision, decided to differentiate that and to see what will happen. That's actually what we have accomplished. I will tell you why I am still in Evo and not in Revo, and some comparison with CMS. And then background of what has been accomplished after I joined Evo. After the last update, it was not me. I started with 109, and I will tell you about our perspective plans. Why I chose Evo, because initially I also chose MODX. I had a feeling that everything is logical there. There's strictly content, structure, and separation of the code from the exterior. Everything is logical, and I could control everything. That was the advantage. And the second advantage was speed. Easy, simple, and understandable. Why, again, I stayed with Evo. I have lots of small projects, and this option, as Vasily proved, is simple and nice, but you need to tune every project. And when you have over 200 or 300 small projects, it's very complicated. Everybody understands that. To unfold EDA and tune it, and people don't have that much time to take care of that. Everything was done in the browser. It was simpler, easier, and more relevant. Of course, there are some difficult projects. I will show you them later, what can be done. But the majority of projects that I deal with are small-scale projects. I work primarily with other studios that deal with management, and we deal with programming. And again, since now I'm a lead of Evo, many clients know me. This is, of course, a huge flow of orders, clients, and ready websites to explain to clients that the site that we were developing for you needs to be completely updated, and again, money should be invested for development. It's not worthwhile. And the client would ask, what are the advantages? What will I get as a result if I pay lots of money? Now, it's difficult to explain, so Evo needs to be maintained and supported, at least in terms of safety, so that all the clients that have ready websites, actually there are lots of such websites, they could survive longer and there are no problems with viruses. Again, I will go back to the speed. When you are somewhere in Sri Lanka, the internet over there is not even like here. Here it's a little bit lagging because there are not 100 megabytes and everything is uploaded very slowly, and you need to update websites that are online. Accordingly, you need to contact via browser, and even 100 kilobytes is wasted time, but you prefer to lie on the beach and drink beer. You're not feeling like working, therefore you need to work as fast as possible. That's why, that's another reason I stayed with Evo. And another reason is speed of our websites. Initially I was at Evo, and I wouldn't say that the situation was very good. It's for printing out lots of charts with data. You can order a business card in different formats and so on. And it was on Shopkeeper, and there were more than 400 chunks. So the clients were suffering, adding prices and other information. It was very inconvenient. So that's the result. After we have updated the website and launched a new version, I would like to make a remark that it's like hidden advertising with the host. He was doing it for Revo, but there was just one question with folder.tromps. It was renamed with Revolution settings, and the problems was resolved. It's a normal classical situation. I understand that if Vasily was doing this, the situation would have been the same. But there are some minor points that we will discuss.
Основное, что меня, как бы, что не устраивает.
The main key thing that we
Классная штука Phenom, и Phenom действительно
that allows to make the website very quickly. When we made the Holivar, you probably have seen all that with the same screenshot. I understand that on Revo, websites can be made News MTV and so on, and it will work as an option. But I prefer to use TV. This is simpler. I don't like MGS. Probably nobody likes that. When Evo just started, it was a good option. But hopefully it won't be on MODXpo. And we will be able to combine two branches. The community has been separated. In the English community, one can see that too many people use Evo, and to think that Evo has died, it's very difficult. And in terms of speed of work, and secondly, another point, Evo needs minimum resources on the hostings. Revo is launched not always, and more resources are required. Now let's switch over to the comparison of CMS. And initially I wanted to compare just Revo, but then I thought, why not compare others? It will be more interesting. Here's a screenshot. I will show you the chart, which is more relevant. The way I compared it, I typically work with this notebook in Safari browser, and I tested it in Safari. Installed on MUMP, so that's the speed. We see how many elements are uploaded, and if the internet is not good, the number of elements is the number of requests from the hosting, and we understand that the speed can go up, and the number of kilobytes that were uploaded, and the number of milliseconds that was given. And we thought Revo works worse, but it's in the second place, but there's still room for improvement. But it's worthwhile not to use all other systems. This is the statistics, and noteworthy in Evo, the first half is dashboard, like the home page of the backend, and second one are update or editing. And I would like to say that in Evo 1.7 megabyte and Revo 1.6. But if you install TMCA, Revo will have 2.6 megabytes, and in Evolution will have her data by default. This is the speed of work of front end. I compared just Evolution and Revolution, and I compared. I just had a line of parser consumption of memory, and we see the speed of work, and we see the difference is twofold. Revo has more memory and processes more longer 2 times. What's the nuance here? Why is it a very critical parameter? Because Google recommends maximum 0.0 seconds from response from the hosting. So we need to be in this framework, and accordingly, when you start from 002, the reserve is more as opposed to 005. And these statistics, the more you add, the more accordingly your statistics is worse and worse. I saw lots of websites that work slowly. Everything depends on hands of the programmers, because on every system you can create a website that can fly, and you can also create on the same system a website that will work very slowly. It depends upon how well you know the system, if you are knowledgeable about the system or not. As regards the community, we have a couple of websites and chat in Telegram. If we look at Telegram chart for MODX, for Rebel, we have roughly 300 people, and in Evolution chat we have 200 and 265 persons. The difference is just 10%. All the rest is just 50-50. Of course, we see that there are many people, but at the same time, we don't see that like Revo 30 and Evo 300. There's no such big difference, and that could say that Revo is dying. And as regards the website, MODXpo is 2 times better, like 2,000 people in Pro, and it works on live street, and I think that I will have time and I will change it into Revolution and it will work properly, because sometimes I'm have a approach that there are 3-party developments, because we adjusted it during one day and it fulfills all our requirements except one. So the resolution of this task is like secondary whenever we have free time, because the time problem and personnel problem same in Revo and Evo. No free hands that are willing to assist. This is GitHub statistics. If we look at the last month, we will see that the number of persons that worked within a month, last month on Evolution, and the number of people that worked recently in Evolution is almost the same. As regards contribution, 15, 18 pull requests, almost the same. The number of people working over the systems, plus minus, like in Evo and Revo, is the same, but at the same time in the chat, more than 300,000 people. I don't understand that the activity is low. It should be higher than in Evolution. We don't have that many people. I thought we are fewer, but it turned out the number of people is almost the same. Now some background as regards the system itself. Luckily, we don't have ArcGIS, and what enables us, first of all, the focus was shifted to the convenience of managers' work and in the backend. And if we look at the versions that we had, like very old versions, 109, 10, who remembers that? In 1.2, one can see that clearly that we were trying to repeat the statistics and network solutions, locations of elements, blocks for MODX Revolution. But after we left that, 1.3, now it looks like that. We changed color solution, and when we made order in the HTML code, it was terrible, and so we simplified what we needed and removed what we didn't need. There's one small button, a night mode. Sometimes when you develop many things and you look at light spots and you feel that your eyes are sore, so we added it in the backend. If you look at the basket over the first document, there's a small icon like light. You can, if you want it dark, it can be dark. And in the as regards extras, the extras that were initially in one version, Dita, breadcrumbs, wayfinder, sitemaps, and others in branch 1.4. I deleted them, and it's in a different branch, but if you need to use them, you can do that. Whatever is required, menu upload or any elements, drop lister is used for that. It was initially for downloading documents, but now it's such a nice combined solution. Lots of decisions, filtering, galleries, photos, and whatnot. Everything can be provided on that. And another component, form lister, is based also on it replaces e-form, all types of work with documents, and we also use the forms, and it takes the function also, this function. Also, we plan to write a component. Our system for comments is obsolete. No one has rewritten it. And there is an idea to rewrite it so that forms are on form lists. On form lister, and to create a new component, it will be rather easy. Also, there is a page builder. Everybody knows probably content blocks, which is a quite convenient tool for dynamic content when a customer, without knowing HTML code, to place gallery files, text in any order, so any constructor can use it without a problem. So roughly in summertime, we were told that in Revo there are collections. Okay, no problem. We also have collections. The logic of this work is the same. And as regards, it will be further page builder. It looks like that approximately. One folder or several folders can be subdivided into several warrants, and you can introduce or enter any content like text, picture, text with a picture, whatever you need on the front end. So it fulfills all your requirements, like creation of landing from different blocks, and you can add many things here. It's very convenient. Also, a previous speaker, Vasily, told us that he works with EDA, and it's very convenient. You see static elements. It allows to do the same, but a little bit differently. We're not just put information to files, but we duplicate files, and there is a possibility both to fix files and database through backend. The logic is as follows. It creates all elements. There's a folder elements, which creates snippets, VHP, chunks, and templates, TPL extension. Also, you can add a file here. Then it will create it will write it automatically in the database. And to make it to work it, to activate it, you click renew or update, and it will update it at the front end. And for that, you don't need to log in or authorize yourself in the backend. But right now, there's a very good idea to provide a possibility also to show content. Vasily has resolved this task, but I was thinking whether it needs to be solved or not, or it should be left like that.
And the result will be the same. And also, there is an opportunity to use Tweak. So you install Tweak plugin, and you can install Tick instead of model, and also you can make it separately. And with Tweak you can work not in admin panel but with files, and it will work like full scale. You can use full scale functionality. Normally I don't use Tweak. I use the standard parser. The main thing that has changed in Nucleus, we made a repository, and there is no delete button. This is the only problem, but I have planned to refactor it and to make it working. Also, we added Alice listing function, like when you put not the whole tree into the cache, but only folders. When you have a live website with 1 million documents in the tree, and it works very well, and there are 20 template variables, and everything works quite fast. Also, there is a site where there are 26,000 documents and about 1 million entries in TVs, and 200 TVs are used because in TVs we have multi-language support, and also we have added an opportunity to cache pages with including the get parameters, because in all websites with pagination, and earlier it was done like this: you make pagination and the snippet is has to be processed every time. And when we make caching with including get parameters, it takes all pages and caches them, and after first run it takes it from cache, and it works very well. As far as the interface is concerned, I will show you what we've done about skins. I will show you, because there are some things that are not present in Reva, because first we copied everything from Reva, and then we started to look what else we can take, where we can take it. So we're not creating the interface ourselves, but sometimes it's good to install some new systems to learn what somebody else is doing and what we can take from them. Sometimes it's much easier, it's much more efficient than rather than to invent a bicycle, because you will make same mistakes others did. And about a week ago, I have remade the demo website, removed all the old snippets and made it with new ones, so that we can have a look how it works real mode. For example, there is a form with an example, because for those who only get familiar with the system, they first are confused how to do it so that Ajax works with MODX, but it's not very complex actually. The first thing we added in CMS 1 for are tabs, so you don't have to open several browser tabs to work in admin panel. You just open one version, you switch on global tabs, and it's like same as in VDE. It's very good and very proved to be very efficient. The second one is context menu for snippets, chunks, etc. You have two options how to use it. First, when the site is ready, you have to correct something, then you click on the right button of the mouse, and by the right button of the mouse on the name of the snippet, it shows you, and you can correct something. And also I want also it to show the link to the documentation, so that it opens from there. So you don't have to go to demo website. You can directly from admin panel to read the documentation, what parameters are used. So also you can create new elements directly here. You can write name of a new chunk. Then you right click on it, and then there is a button create. Then you open something like that, pop up where you see the name of the chunk, and you just have to copy the code you need. It makes the work much faster, because you don't have to create anything new. In order to make it in Reva, you have to go to the tree of the documents, then you press create new document button, then it opens, of course, in a small window, but when you don't have to go anywhere else and you just do it right here, it's much faster. And also we improved upgraded the admin panel, so that works well in mobile phones. Left menu can be slided with a finger, or you can hide it, or you can click on the icon on the left and close and open the left menu. It's in the first item in the up menu. So there are some still problems, bugs, because not all the pages have been remade. But when I need it to change it from mobile phone, normally it's quite easy, because the work is, if you want customers to be satisfied, you have to try to resolve the issues very dynamically. Sometimes you don't have a computer at hand, sometimes you are not at a workplace, and you anyway need to do it quite fast. And also Nicola added a color switcher function. On the right there is a panel that slides out, and you can change the gamma, the color. So, for example, the website is in red, and so the admin panel will be also in red. You can repaint all your panels, change color from your panels. You don't have to create a new theme. It's in the theme you're already using. You just change the color. Also, we changed modified widgets, because earlier there was a problem. You first have to go to welcome.dpl file, correct something, or add through plugins. If you add through plugins, there was a problem in Reva. There is a problem that code is not structured. Reva is MVC, but in Ever it's not like that. So all the solutions were done in different ways by everyone, and it was complete farce. And and now you can use this plugin as a widget. You can add, remove, etc., and everything is in one style. as a base, we didn't use ngvar and JS. We first used ngQuery, and then we remade in pure JS, because in Team JS is same everywhere. Sometimes you have to work more, you have to write more, but you're not connected to some external library. You don't depend on it. Same as with Reva and JS, it happened. So they use it, but NJS now has 6th version, and Reva nobody will use even the 6th version. It's easier to use RSTP and use it. And the correct way is to switch to RSTP, but Reva will not survive till it. Reva will use to the version 4. So after the main so it will be easier to merge two communities, and this will be the best solution probably. Also, you can add a picture, you can put a logo of your company here. Many customers like that. Many customers are satisfied. If it's possible, it's very easy. You just add two fields, background picture and logo type that can be changed. And when there was a Halivar on the website, so somebody said that in Reva there is no search, but it's on the right. It's there, but on the right, not on the left. In Eva, all the elements are in the tree. So in Evolution, we've made it first like this. So first you can switch between the tabs, tree of documents and other elements, and then we started to use this top menu. It's very good, and if there are a lot of snippets, if they do not fit the screen, so there is a window, search window opened, and with one click you can get to any snippet. You don't need 2 or 3 clicks, especially in Reva when you use so many integrated applications. Documents, then it's difficult, but here with this search engine it's much easier, much quicker. In future plans is to start TVIN website. Now it's only blank there, but we have to start the real one. Also now we have Alex Evolution, and you have to do it manually, but I want to make it automatically so that everything is taken from WebHub, and I created a repository WebHub Revolution, and I will make it so that automatically it's taken from there. It will show automatically versions master develop, and automatically will show us all the released versions. It will help to install it properly, and also we will make a file with a description of these packages, and insert the link to the documentation and link to description in which folders what is used, so that you can also remove it, remove this. Because if you want to install it to the real website, you better install it only to the demo site, and to the real working site you first at least have to make a backup, because it's kind of dangerous. Also in Reva we have a button, reserve backup, a button, so you can do it either like this, or in the hosting you can make it and restore from there. For example, when I have a version with parsing of data, you have to take it from another database and to create a tree of documents. So in order not to clean it afterwards, you have to use the scheme of backup. Also, I wanted to remake, as it was same is 1.0 version in Reva. If you remember, if you want to see what is in admin panel, compare HTML JS code, which is difficult to deal with, and with Bootstrap 3, and now with Bootstrap 4 it's even more complex. So we want to make admin work on Tweak. It will give a lot of advantages. As far as Git is concerned, Vasily started to talk about that, and there is an idea to make an additional field inside content ID names. So normally we get resource and we state the ID. If we state the number, it's ID, and if text, it's ID name, which we can can use just 5 minutes more. And in this way, we can remove part of the database without connection to the ID. So if, for example, a customer remembers some news in the website and we created a new section, so with this, in this way we can settle this issue. And also we can work close with Composer because a lot of PHP components are used from the newsletters and a lot of libraries that have to be renewed manually, but it can be done automatically from the composers, renewed automatically. So that's it. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, Dmitry. Questions? You're welcome to ask questions about evolutions, please. Everybody is silent. Okay, then thank you once again.